God had created the earth and filled it with people, but sadly, most of the people that God created were not doing good things. In fact, they were doing very bad things and were thinking bad thoughts all the time. God was sad that the people were being so bad. So God said to himself, I'm going to start over. I will destroy all life that is on the earth and then start fresh. But there was one man who was following God with his whole heart. He loved God and did his best to obey everything that God wanted him to do. His name was Noah. Noah did the right thing, even when nobody around him was doing what was right. God told Noah, I'm going to send a flood that will destroy the earth and all the life in it. But I want to save you, Noah, so I need you to do some work. I want you to build a big boat called an ark so that you, your family, and many animals will be saved. God told Noah exactly how tall and wide and long the ark should be. God knew the ark needed to be big enough to carry all the animals and food for all of them to eat. The ark was 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. It had 3 stories and 1 door. Now it's pretty amazing that Noah immediately started obeying God, because there had never been rain on the earth before this time. All the plants were watered by springs that came up out of the ground. So when God said he was going to destroy the earth by causing water to flood and fall out of the sky, I'm sure must have sounded crazy to Noah. But he obeyed anyway. Sometimes the things God asks us to do don't always make sense, but we always need to trust that God knows best and is trying to take care of us. Noah got started building the ark. He cut down trees. He sawed wood. He hammered boards together. He gathered all the food. His 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, helped him build the ark, and it took a long, long time. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly how long it took, but we know that it was many years. Finally, the ark was built and ready. God sent a male and a female of each type of animal to Noah. Turtles crawled in. Giraffes bent their necks to get through the door. Doves flew to the decks. Mice, elephants, parrots, lions, monkeys, and horses came. Finally, all the animals and Noah and his wife and his sons and their wives were safely on the ark. 8 people and lots of animals. When they were all safe inside, God shut the door of the ark. And then, nothing happened. No rain. I'm sure all the people who had watched Noah build the ark were laughing, thinking that Noah had been foolish to obey God. But Noah wasn't foolish, and Noah continued to have faith, even though they waited inside the ark for 7 days before something finally happened. The rain started falling. It rained all day. It rained all night. Water also sprang up out of the ground. As the rain continued to come down, the water accumulated beneath the ark. Slowly, the ark began to float on the rising waters. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain continued to fall without stopping. The water continued to rise. The water covered the tops of the houses, the tops of the trees, and even the tops of the mountains. But the ark floated on top of it all. The animals and all of Noah's family were safe and dry inside the ark. The rain had finally stopped, but it took a long time for all that water to go down. Noah and his family had to stay on the ark for a whole year while they waited for the water to go down. You see, there was no dry land for them to walk on. The entire earth was covered in water. Finally, after 5 months of floating, the water had started to go down. The ark came to rest on top of Mount Ararat. 2.5 months later, other mountaintops started to become visible. After another 40 days, Noah opened a window he had made in the boat. He wondered if there was enough dry ground under the ark so that the family and the animals could disembark from the ark. So Noah decided to do a test. He released a raven out of the window of the ark, but the raven couldn't find any place to land. He just kept flying back and forth over the water. So Noah took a dove and released him out of the window of the ark. But the dove couldn't find a place to land either. So the dove came back to Noah on the ark. Noah brought the dove back inside. Noah waited 7 days, and then he released the dove again. This time, the dove was gone all day, and when he came back in the evening, the dove had a fresh olive leaf in his beak. So Noah knew that the floodwaters were going down. Noah waited another 7 days, and then he released the dove again. This time, the dove did not come back. So Noah knew that the dove had found a place to land outside of the ark. 2 more months passed, and finally, the earth was completely dry. It was time for Noah and all the animals and all of his family to come out of the ark. God said to Noah, "It's time to come out of the ark. You and your family and all the animals may come out." How sweet the fresh air must have smelled. How beautiful the leaves must have looked on the trees. Noah said to his sons, "Help me look for big stones. I want to build an altar to worship God." They found stones that were just right. Noah carefully stacked the stones to build an altar. On it, he made an offering to God. Noah thanked God for keeping him and his family safe during the flood. God was pleased with Noah's offering. God made a promise to Noah. He promised that he would never again send a flood to destroy the whole earth. He told Noah, "I'm going to give you a special sign of my promise." Then God put a rainbow in the sky and told Noah that this rainbow would be a constant reminder of God's promise to him. We can still see rainbows in the sky today, and every time we see one, we can know that God is watching over us, caring for us, and loving us. Noah was so thankful to God for keeping him safe. We have a lot of things to be thankful for too, don't we? Every good thing we have comes from God. So let's make sure we are thankful for all the things God gives us every day.